What's going on, everyone? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing, and we're getting ready to look here at the S&P 500. This is not the S&P, this is not the ES, this is the S&P 500, a CFD that I trade with my Forex broker, my FX Choice. I trade this 23 hours a day. I'm not locked in to any particular session. I do hope that my analysis is able to help you wherever variation of the S&P 500 you are trading, as I'm sure it does. But what I am doing here is my own analysis that is a pleasure to share with you. Not only that, but as well as how I approach the markets, some interesting threads. Here we have something to look at today together, as well as if you're interested in seeing how I got into today's trade. It was recorded today during the live stream. You could see the approach that I took. I watched this trade, I would assume, for somewhere around, I would say, almost 30 minutes before I actually entered the trade. You could take a look at that. But right now, we're going to take a look at the bigger picture together as we jump into the charts. Now you can see we're still focused on whether or not this head and shoulders is actually developing. The question has arisen, is it possible to have a head and shoulders below the all-time highs? Absolutely. Absolutely. You could have a head and shoulders, an inverse head and shoulders. Remember, I am a swing trader. I make my living not trying to predict what's going to happen 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, or next year. What I'm able to do is focus on what's happening right in front of me, maybe get into a trade that I can push for a day or even 5, and that's where I'm able to kind of find out what's going on and trade. Now we're going to jump down to the 2-hour time frame so I can give you a little bit of overview as what has happened. Yesterday, if you watched the video, you saw that we were possibly looking at this resistance. We saw the sell-off into the close right over here, and then we said, okay, perhaps, maybe, we have what's developing is a head and shoulders pattern. Now the trigger for that is not until the neckline breaks. That is where we look to enter that trade. But right now, we did get caught up into this resistance here. I'm going to pull down to a 30-minute time frame now. And what I want you to see is this is what happened overnight. This is what happened overnight is that we came up and we tested the resistance at 28.89. Not once, but twice, okay? Then what happened was pre-market. We opened up, and in the first 5-10 minutes of trading, we came up and we tested it a third time and were rejected quickly by the resistance at 28.89. We did note we were seeing possible lower highs taking place as well, okay? So this type of price action, although it was not leaning us towards being bullish, at the same time, what I did is I drew in this trend line over here. I'm going to come back down now to the 15-minute to show you what we're trading at. Before we get in to what happens next, we have to figure out where exactly we are. And this is the opening right here, the opening 20 minutes of New York. I drew in this trend line, and I said if we get below that trend line, at that point, that opens up us looking for a short trade. Now, this was the first indication early in the morning. And at the same time, if we did clear above this resistance above at 28.89, that did open up the possibility of going long, and we would have been excited to take that trade. Now, if you want to watch how this all developed after this video, after we looked at what our plan is right now, what we're doing, and you can see right now, we're into this little bit of local support, just local support, right? Hopefully what happens now is we come up and we turn this broken support, confirm it as resistance, and then trade back down. Will I add to a position there? Maybe. Let's look at what else is going on first. Now, I have to admit, I got really lucky. My stop was almost too perfect, and I almost got stopped out of this trade. Now, if you find yourself getting stopped out of a trade, often at the exact point the market turns, and if you want to see why I put my stop where I put my stop, go ahead and watch the video. I'll link the video in the description so you could go ahead and watch the section. I think it starts around 1 hour and 20 minutes, 1 hour and 30 minutes into the session. You could see where we were looking at as we saw the breakdown over here. The patience shown coming down, didn't chase any of this. Waited for this support to hold, for price to come all the way back up. Waited for price to come all the way back up. And right around here on the 5 minute, it started making a lower low. That's where I took the entry. I talked about where I was putting my stop and or why. Got a little lucky on the trade. Nothing wrong with getting lucky. The question is now, am I looking to add to this trade? We'll look at that in one moment. First, there's one small thing that I do want to look at with you. This is a post by Tavi Costa, and he's bringing our attention to this chart over here of growth versus value. And if you look back where we were during the dot-com bubble, at the peak of it, this was the valuations of growth versus value. And here again today, we're only 1.3% away from that peak. This is not market bottom behavior, quite the opposite. This still looks like a market top. However, as everyone on this channel knows, it doesn't matter where we should be trading. It only matters where we are trading. Okay? We're only focused on what's happening before us, not what we want to happen, not what we expect to happen, only where we are. Now, as far as what I'm looking at, I'm going to back up here to the 2 hour time frame. I am first looking for a possible take profit into the support area at 28.09. I will watch how price reacts. I don't have a waiting take profit in there yet because I'm going to wait and watch how price reacts, because there is a good chance that we break down below that support and come into this neckline, because you could see this neckline has been in play. Okay? So I expect that to be the area of interest. So I will watch how price reacts over here. If I see it bouncing, I'll go ahead and take profit off this trade. Say, okay, beautiful, what's next? But if I could push it into the neckline and watch what happens there, I really would like to do that as well, because again, if we do get a break of this neckline, at that point, that opens up a much further target. I am not interested in looking to book profits as soon as possible. I am actually only looking to push trades as far as the market will allow me. That's the difference. It's actually learning how to manage trades that's going to make the difference in your trading. If you are, because you see profits, taking profits off the table too quickly, it's not going to work out. You need to have that mindset of getting out and taking your losses quickly, but not your take profits. Right now, since we've crossed now down this support, let me zoom in for you. Since we broke down below this support over here at 28.58, I have moved my take profit. I've moved my stop loss to break even, holding the trade, right? Probably what I'm going to do is after we see a test, if we see a test of this level at 28.58, which is now should be resistance. If we do see the test, if we don't see the test, I don't have to worry about moving my stop loss and break even. That just means we're going lower. If we do see a successful test of this level, if we see price retrace up, if we see it hold this level and then resume downward, at that point, I will go ahead and I will move my stop loss down above, right above 28.58, right above wherever this peaked, even if it peaks gently above, wherever it is, I'll move my stop loss above that swing high, because if price then goes back up above there, I'll just take my profit and get out of the trade and move on. Aside from that, I'm just waiting and watching, and I'm going to watch. I'm not looking to take profit. I'm going to watch what happens down around the support at 28.09. I'm going to watch what happens as we get closer to the neckline. Am I looking to add a position? If we come up here, test this resistance successfully, and then get rejected and start resuming downwards? I'm not going to add a position at this point. I'm going to hold the position I have, and I'm going to try to push it as far as I can push it. If you're not into the trade and you do see us come back, retrace, and hold the resistance at 28.58, that looks like a nice place to get short here. That looks like a beautiful place to get short. All right, so be aware of that. Otherwise, use this all as a learning experience. If you're not into a trade, there's nothing wrong with that. There is everything right with that. Actually, what is wrong is being in a trade that you're not sure that you should be in, or you got into for the wrong reasons. Because then you're not working towards, you're not moving forward. You're actually caught, you're stuck in quicksand, and it's a terrible place to be. If you're not in a trade right now, that's fantastic. Go ahead and keep working on your skills. If you didn't get a chance to watch the live stream video from this morning, watch the replay. Because there's a wealth of information to learn. That's time better spent than trying to force a trade that's not there. We do live stream every morning at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. In this video is a description. In the description, you'll see a link to the Telegram. If you join that Telegram group, you will be notified every morning before we go live. Again, Monday through Friday. Would love to see you in there. Love for you to join us. And if you're not able, at the beginning of each video, we cover the S&P 500. It's the first thing we do in the morning. We cover our plan going into the New York session for the S&P 500. You could go ahead and watch the replay. You could watch that portion. We also follow that up with then Bitcoin, and then gold, then WTI crude, and then we get into the DXY, the dollar index, and all the FX currency pairs. Listen, everyone, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Everyone who comments on these videos, thank you so much, because I really enjoy your perspective. I don't really care if you agree with me or not. That's not what this is all about. This is all about intellectual discussion about the markets, and I'm very interested in the opposing opinion of my own, always. That's what I always want to know, the other side of the market, the other side of the trade. Now, I have turned, overall, my bias is now bearish. We're short over here. I'm seeing this pattern develop. For me to be looking, not that I can't take any longs off this support down here, this neckline, if it doesn't break. If we come down and we test this neckline and maybe resume off it and get above, this is what now support at 28.09. By the way, the neckline, for those who can't see, it's right around 27.89. That's where the neckline is coming into play right now. And if we do touch all the way down there and that holds us support, and then we break back above what is support now at 28.09, at that point, yeah, I would probably step in and be looking to buy, right? But right now, off of this resistance, off of the price action that we've seen over the past 24 hours, over the past 26 hours, right? It leads me to just look to take the bear side here. It's not until we break down below this trend line, this possible neckline, that I am full blown in bear mode. But right now, this was a beautiful opportunity. Took advantage of it. Let's see how it ends up. Hopefully, this thing winds up falling further into profit. It's not really important. Any individual trade is not important. What's important is learning how to approach, trade the markets. That's what's important, right? Better to enter a trade because you're supposed to enter it and get stopped out. Nothing wrong with that. Zero whatsoever. You need to be detached not only from your losers but from your winners, right? You need to have absolutely that like Zen detachment in trading. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.